oh, let me talk to my wife, or I'll just have to get back to you on that. That's usually a no. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Aaron with Schmidt's Trees. Today I have 5 tips to get better at giving estimates to your clients when it comes to tree work. This is from the past 6 months of experience out in the field, looking at trees, talking to clients of all different kinds, and trying to close as many deals as possible. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I do have a little bit of experience and a few tips that I can give to you guys and help you guys secure more deals and get them on the schedule, get those jobs on the schedule for you guys. Tip number 1, dress professionally. It's so important to make the best first impression when it comes to your client. Like, you want to show up and on time. Make sure like you're dressed, that you have your logo on somewhere. Like you look like a tree guy. You look like you've done it before. They're not feeling nervous because it could just be any Joe Blow off the street that has a chainsaw without insurance. You know, make sure you are dressed well, look good, and just like appeal to them. First impressions matter so much, guys. If you don't have a good first impression, I'm sorry, like most of the time they're gonna look for somebody else. They have someone else that is gonna come look at it probably that day, or they already have another bid on the tree job. So like I said, first tip, dress professionally, look your best, and just make them think, wow, he actually cares how he looks. He's, you know, he likes what he's doing. I like this guy, I might hire him. Tip number 2, know your species of tree. And this is your time to shine. Whenever you go and look at a tree and talk to your client, make sure you know what you're talking about. Like if you're looking at a silver maple and you're calling it an oak tree and they know it's a silver maple, they're like, this guy has not been doing it very long. I do not trust him to cut this tree down. He'll probably cut it down and hit my house. You know, like right then and there, it's critical to know exactly what species you're looking at. So for me, I like to use the app Plant This. And when I was first starting out, I had no idea what trees were, or like there was even different species of trees. So like I said, the app Plant This, I go around even before the client is there, which I try to do. Sometimes I can't. I try to take pictures of the trees and already know the species in case it's like something that I'm not familiar with. Like just recently, I wasn't familiar with a basswood, what that looked like. You know, there's all kinds of different species. You know, you want to know exactly what they are, so the client will be like, oh, I didn't even know what that tree was, and you knew that what that was? Wow, I like this guy. You know, all the time you're trying to get them to like you, but not too much. You know, like just be a little bit personal, but make sure you know like what you're talking about with these people. All right. Like I said, I try to go in before, like if I know like where I'm gonna look at these trees, I'll go in and take a picture of them and then even price them in my head before I even speak with the client. That way it comes out even more confident when I give them the price to the tree, because I've already looked at the tree and thought about how I'm gonna take down the tree in my head. What's it gonna cost with labor and everything like that? What's it gonna cost to dump, chip, whatever, clean up, and all that good stuff. So tip number 3, have confidence. Like for me, like at the beginning when I was doing, you know, tree estimates, I was terrified. Like with what I was saying, I didn't know what I was doing at all whatsoever. I was just knocking on doors and just winging it. Like, and I was nervous and scared, especially when it came to jobs that were like $2,000 plus or even more than that. It's hard for me to say like the price of that without feeling kind of bad, you know. Yeah, I don't know, but for me now it's a lot easier to say, hey, yeah, this tree is going to cost a little over $3,000 because of this, and that, and I'll tell you exactly why. There's a power line, there's a house, there's, you know, you got all these different things that could potentially lead to damage, and it's going to take some time here. Every cut is going to be very critical. We're going to have to rope everything down. It's very stressful for everybody. And I always try to tell them, like, do you know what we're doing here? You know, if they look at me like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive, and I'll be like, well, this is what's going on. We have to freaking go up 60 feet. Someone's gonna be climbing, someone's gonna be on the ground. We got radios on, we're talking to each other. Like one wrong move, someone could get hurt. The tree could potentially go the wrong way or whatever and break something very important, to the client. You don't want any damages or anything like that to happen. And even like stuff with our equipment, like saws or whatever that could drop and break. That just recently happened with me, but I won't go into detail about breaking saws and stuff. But but yeah, no, just be confident from the beginning. Direct eye contact with them. Say, hey, my name's Aaron. It's nice to meet you. Just that right there. Then that goes a long ways. Not being like super shy, and body language, having good body language, posture, be there and have your presence felt with these people. So tip number 4, know your client even before meeting with them. So it gets hard whenever you're super busy and you're giving a bunch of estimates all the time. For me, I'm based in West Des Moines, so I do a lot of residential work, but I do a lot of work in Southwest Iowa, rural areas out in the countryside. So those are two different clients right there alone. People that are living in the city and people that are living out in the country that are, usually farmers or doing stuff on their own and have their own equipment. They just don't really know how to cut that tree down. So knowing who your client is very essential, because if you're, if you say, like, for instance, I'm in the city and this person is, they have no idea what tree work is or anything like that, but their house is huge, they have all this money, they have Lamborghinis, they're completely rich. I'm sorry, but it's a little easier to take advantage of them price-wise. So that's a situation where you can go a little bit higher in price and get away with it. But whereas if you're out in the countryside and you got Joe Blow, a farmer that has all this equipment's farmed and worked all his life, and he works hard for his living and knows the economy and knows how much money is worth, he's going to be a little bit more, the price is going to be a little bit lower. So you're going to have to work with that person, that client, on the price. So that's whenever you're going to have to go a little bit lower on the price, but not enough to where, you're going to lose money on the job. And I've learned from experience from losing a lot of money on jobs. I've lost money on quite a bit of jobs, actually. And that's another thing that's really good, is just by going out and having experience and doing the job. Whenever you lose money on that job, you see it as a failure, right? But use that for your next estimate and be like, this is not going to happen this time. I'm going to come out on top. That it's not going to happen again. Okay, so don't let that happen. But yeah, so that's kind of what I was saying, with just price things a little bit different, in the city as to where you would price something out in the country, or even doing research on the client, meaning if they have social media and stuff and they're reaching out to you, hey, can you look at my tree, and schedule when to look at it. That's your time to go, take a peek at their social media and look and see what they got going on in their life, and see if they, have some money. I know it sounds really bad again, but if they have a little bit more money, or if they don't have that much money. So tip number 5, close the deal as soon as you can. So this is something that I struggled with at the beginning. I'd always walk away too early whenever they say, that's just really high, or that's just, wow, that's outrageous. That's when it's time to negotiate and be like, okay, we can do this on the price. We can drop cleanup. I can give you a couple different bids here. One for just, cutting the tree down, and one for cleaning up and doing the full cleanup, which is going to be a little bit more. So try to close the deal with them as soon as you are done talking with them. Try to get them on the schedule for next week or the next couple weeks, so they know when you're coming to do it. And it's just tough whenever they're always like, a lot of the times I've dealt with like people where, oh, let me talk to my wife, or I'll just have to get back to you on that. That's usually a no. Like most of the time they're not going to say yes, but sometimes it depends. It all depends on your situation, where you're at. But for me, trying to close more deals and estimates, I try to close them right when I'm leaving the place. Like they already have the invoice, and they know when I'm gonna do it and when I'm planning to do it. But yeah, so that's my 5 tips. I know I could go on and on about this. I feel like I just scratched the surface of this. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do to close more deals. I hope this was helpful for you guys. This is just some of the videos that I wanted to put out for you guys, and I know I'm gonna create a bunch more stuff about tree work. I'm sorry there's no tree work in this video, but I want to help you guys out whenever you're going out on your own and doing estimates by yourself. I know it can be pretty scary at sometimes and difficult, but at the end of the day, when you close a really big deal, there's no better feeling, because you put in the work, you knew what you were talking about, and you're excited you're gonna do that tree job. It's coming up. So, but anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. Schmidt's Trees LLC out. We'll see you in the next video.